Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am showing you how to implement the class and inheritance in JavaScript. Actually, using class is very crucial, especially you are going to create a long line of codes, and especially nowadays with our latest technology of JavaScript like React.js, Vue.js, so they are very important. So in my screen, as you can see, we have this example from LinkedIn. So we will just copy this and explain. So now, this time we will just create, let's say for example, we are in the index part in this index page. So we have this auto reload here. So this time we will just create a script. Okay. So as you can see, we will create the class shape. Okay, class shape constructor. Okay, we have the width and height. Okay, so this that width equals to width, and this that height is equals to height. So guys, the constructor will always trigger every time we call or initialize the shape class. Okay, so in the shape class we have also method. So this is a method get area. Okay, so get area will return the this width times or multiplied by this height. Okay, so as you can see here, so now so far we have this code. What this code so far will do, so this will actually call, once we initialize the shape, this will actually initiate constructor or the code inside the constructor, and then the width we pass here will be passed in this private method in this class, and then pass as well the height and the width, and then if we call the get area, then that should multiply both width and height. So let's say for example 2 times 2 is the width, height is 2 as well, and then the return of this area will be 4. Okay, so let's continue by adding the class to inherit. Okay, so rectangle, let's say rectangle extends shape. So in our rectangle class we need a constructor as well, so width, height, and super width, and then height. So what the super do is that will call automatically the shape constructor. So we will continue and create the example. Okay, so let's say for example, let's create a separate script here. So we will just, okay, so we will initialize the rectangle. So let rectangle new rectangle. So we are calling the class. Okay, so this time we have to console log the rectangle dot get area. So in this example at the right side we have 10 and 20. So 10 times 20, that should be 200. Okay, so what happened? So let's try 10 and 20. So if we run that, if we execute that, or let's say here, as you can see, we have this 200 result. So we have 200 results. So how that happens? So I will explain you the process. The process will be like, for example, if you run this code, if you execute this code, once the system executed it, then what happened is that the 10 and the 20 will be automatically sent in the constructor. Okay, so this time the value of this will be 10 and the value of the height will be 20, and then after that we pass it to through the super meaning we pass it through the extended class, meaning that should go here. Okay, so since we are passing the 10 and the 20, then that should be 10 and 20 here, 10 and 20, 10 and 20. Okay, so that should be added here. So the width is 20 at 10 and the height is 20, and then should be passes into, maybe perhaps it's a private variable, inside the class. So if you are calling the private variable inside the class or public, you should use this, okay, meaning this inside the class. And then after that, this private variable or public variable can be called in anywhere of the class shape. So meaning that should be called inside the get area or get somewhere or with or something. So that's why if we pass the 10 value here and then the 20 value here, then that should also contain with 10 and 20. So 10 times 20, then that should return 200. Okay, so let's say for example, if we will 10 times 10, that should automatically turn into 100. So as you can see, guys, this kind of, that makes the coding a little bit easier and more manageable, because we can just extend classes from the main class. Okay, so let's say for example, if we will add additional method here, let's say get with. Okay, so get with and get, let's just compress this, get height. So we have get width and get height. So what happened is that we will just return this width and return this height. So we have now the value of width and the value of height and we are going to get it. So get width and get height. So now we will just console log that here, and then with get width, and the other one will be get height. Okay, so if we will refresh that, then you should be able to receive the 2. Okay, so let's say 10, so that should be 20 for the area, because we are like multiplying the width and the height, and then 2 for the width. Okay, so this is the width, so the value of the width is 2 and the height is 10. Okay, so I think that makes sense. That makes sense for the class, how to inherit the class and how we can use the class. But also I would like to show you how you can actually call a value inside the main class. So this will be our main class, and this will be our parent class, or this will be the child or the parent. Okay, so let's say for example, you want to create a separate functionality or function inside the children class. Okay, so the main class. So let's say overall, overall. Okay, so the overall or sum, let's say sum, that will be fine, I think. So sum, so the sum will be only in the children class or the parent main class. So we can say sum with, we cannot call actually the width because it is only in the constructor. So we should also declare a width here, and then width. Okay, this height. So how to sum that? So we can just say return width plus this width plus this height. So this time the sum will be only inside the rectangle class. Okay, so this time if we will save that, nothing happened. But if we will add additional console log and then a rectangle and then sum, you should be able to see, like for example 12. Okay, so as you can see here, we have this 12, but this value of sum, this sum method will be only available for the rectangle, not in the shape. And actually we can also the good thing is that we can also create additional class, and that can be in that can inherit the shape as well. So if we will create class square, okay, extends shape. Okay, so this will be additional class. Okay, so we can just collapse this as well. So if we can just we can also use the square. Okay, so let's say for example we have the constructor for the square. So if we go down a little bit, so let's create a constructor, and then the width of the constructor will be no, we need to input the width and the height as well, and then we should also call the super. Okay, so width and the height. So this time we can also call the square, so we can also declare the square here. So square, okay, let's say square is perfect square. Let's say they have the same width and the same height, so that should be perfect square. So let's say 20 over the width is 20 and the height is 20. So square, the square. So in the very bottom of the JavaScript, we can just console log square dot get area. So the area of the square will be 20 times 20 is 400. So this will be the area will be 400 because they are perfect square. Okay, so as you can see, we can actually inherit the same class from different class. So this rectangle and the square are the children, and the shape is the parent class. Okay, so this time I would like to also transfer this into a JavaScript file, because currently I just added it into the HTML file, index.html. So I need to transfer this into the JavaScript file, so we can call it a class. Okay, so let's head to our file directory, and then let's create a square. Let's say, I think I can just right click here. So let's create a folder, assets, or let's say GS. Okay, so GS, we have this GS folder, and then new file, square, the GS, and let's create additional rectangle.gs, and then lastly the shape.gs. So this time we need to transfer all of them to make sure that our file will be manageable. So we need to transfer them into the file itself for the JavaScript. So first we need to get the shape, cut that, so Control X, and then just paste it here. Okay, and then copy or cut as well the rectangle, and then paste it here in the rectangle.gs, and then lastly the square. So go to the square and paste it here. So at the moment so we need to save that, and that should throw an error. So as you can see, we have this kind of error here because the system cannot find the square. Okay, so this time we need to just include the files, the JavaScript files, into our HTML file. Okay, so we will include the square.js, the rectangle.js, and the shape.js. Okay, so first we need to include the shape because the shape will be the parent, so it must be at the top. src, so .gs shape.js. Okay, and then we need to include the square, the square, and then rectangle. And once we save that, then our code will restore. Okay, so I think this will be the best example that I can explain to you about the classes. So yeah, as you can see, I have explained all the, I mean, little some of the possibilities using the class and inheritance. Okay, so the children and the parent. So guys, so hopefully you learn something, and it will be useful for you to develop something, and you can apply those knowledge and ideas with your projects. So thank you so much guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to see more videos like this, and to hit some likes and to put some comments if you have any questions or any suggestions later on that I can create some tutorial. So thank you so much guys for watching, and see you on my next video.